Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Happy Labor Day. We're coming to the close of it, but, I hope you do celebrate Labor Day. I most certainly do, okay? Monday night, I've got 54 shot in Chicago. 7 dead due to, just people doing what they do. They're on code. They're on brand, if you will. Is it funny? No, it's sad. It's very sad. And I want someone to call right now and say, this is white supremacy. This is white supremacy. Please call right now and say this is all a hoax. These people are actors. What do you call it? Crisis actors. Please, I'm begging you, call right now and let's just go there, okay? I'm sipping a Budweiser. I've got some chips. I've got some French onion dip. Let's get down to business, all right? Also, guys, do you see that showrunner? I've never asked that question before, but I just, I was thinking, because I'm a thinking nigga, and I said, were cartoons in my day more damaging than video games today? Think about that. Cartoons, violent. Oh my goodness. Speedy Gonzalez, Bugs Bunny with the shotgun, and Tom and Jerry. People were getting shot. Anvils were getting dropped on people's heads. Bang! And we were laughing, were we not? We were laughing. Racist. Oh my goodness. I've got a couple of videos I'm going to play to take you back into time. Racism was a thing that was widely accepted. Stereotypes, not just against blacks, but Asians as well. More damaging? Yes, no. Okay, so we know what they do in Grand Theft Auto and all these other, video games today, and the kids can be interactive, but wow. Saturday mornings, coming home after school, you go get a snack or something. You're in the living room. You're somewhat sort of doing your homeroom, or if you had a den, we had a den, and you're watching these violent cartoons. It's propaganda. And I was just thinking today, I said, wow, why do I have the thoughts that I have at my age? Why do I think things, but I know if I say it, whoa, it's just, it would be considered toxic, if you will, the things that I think about. Anyway, so that's my showrunner for now. Were cartoons more damaging than video games of today? We will be discussing the beautiful Walmart video in Indianapolis. Indianapolis? Some folks got together, and since having gotten, more of the story, it appears that this was some type of mob justice. They were beating on a female, a Walmart employee, and you can hear people say, where he at? Where he at? You don't have to like the vernacular of the younger black people. But don't just hate to be hated. Yo, look at these animals. We just had a goddamn transgender shooter who was writing all on his magazines, kick a spick, 6 million wasn't enough, kill Trump now, huh? Shooting children. So, yes, some young black people doing the most. They beat on a young girl. They didn't stab her. They didn't shoot her. Something over a grape. Yes, no? Good evening, troll babies. Something over an alleged grape. They were looking for someone that she supposedly knew. Okay? All right. Monday night, give me a second. Let me just take one more sip. Oh, I see the homie Gene Richmond. He will be my first caller. Yeah, I got 54 shot. That number might, go up, before tomorrow. Can we reach 60? Can we reach 60 before Tuesday morning? Oh my God. This will be a throwaway show. is that my good friend, Gene Richmond, a.k.a. number 9, to help me set the tone.
Hey, good friend. Happy Memorial Day, good friend.
Yes, sir. How are you? Happy Labor Day, man. What's cracking? We're shaking.
Oh, it's Labor Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day.
Same thing.
It's all the same thing. because there's one thing for sure. Niggas are still killing each other like 90 going south. Whether it's Labor Day, whether it's Memorial Day, whether it's the 4th of July,
Right.
and niggas are still living up to the expectation.
Yeah, on brand and on code.
Just to show you that, I think
your phone's going out. Number 9, can you come a little closer? Your phone's going in and out, sir. Give me a second, guys.
Can you hear me?
A little better.
Can you hear me better?
A little better.
Well, yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, I'm a true freedomtarian, but I do believe that a military exposition needs to happen in a place like Chicago.
Absolutely.
These niggas are out of these niggas are out of control, and the holiday has shown us this more today. In particular, we're talking about violence. We're talking about violence in these inner cities, and of course, they show up as expected. As expected, we were going to see shootings. As expected, we were going to see violence take place. And as expected, we were going to see complete chaos go into the inner city.
Right.
And Chicago is always the leading example of why niggas cannot be left to their own devices, because this is what happens.
Let me jump in for a second. Now, do you think that there is any crisis actors involved? Is this white supremacy? Is this propaganda, or are they really getting down the way they usually do? Crisis actors?
No. There are no actors here. There are no crisis actors, and there's not a white supremacist to be found in any of this. I know that's the black talking point, and I completely understand. But it's just niggas being niggas, because I'll tell you one thing. Whether it's a holiday or it's a normal day, there's one thing that you can be sure of. Niggas are still gonna be niggas. It doesn't matter what day it is.
Hey, can I ask you to make the adjustments on your phone, because you're a little distorted? You are my first caller, and I want to make sure that we hit on what's coming out of the news cycle here. I got 54 shot, 7 fatalities. What have you heard? What have you heard? Number 9.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, there you go. What have you heard? 55, 57. What have you heard? The number of shootings thus far?
Well, from what I'm hearing, it was several dozen injuries, but they've confirmed 7 dead. So this is what I've been hearing. So 7 dead thus far, but I believe the number is going to go up by tomorrow morning. So it's 7 and counting.
Yeah. Condolences, of course, to the family members, but this is a situation that needs to be dealt with head on. The Trump administration, have you seen anything since these numbers have come out? Are they saying we'll be there next week? Homeland Security, ICE. What have you been seeing?
Well, I haven't seen anything change in regards to the commentary from the president, but I know the president is watching closely, and I believe tomorrow morning there will be a press conference in regards to this weekend's violence in Chicago. I can almost guarantee there'll be a press conference tomorrow in regards to why it is important to have this federal influence in a city like Chicago, because we see what's happening in D.C., and from the reports, these federal agents have cleaned up the streets. Violence is actually down. Now, this is not my opinion. This is not my commentary. This is the information that's been put out through the national press. Right. Now, if we can do it in D.C., I think we can do it in Chicago. So that Sambo mayor that they have can move out of the way and stop pretending that violence isn't happening. That it's just a bunch of kids out there having fun after hours. And we know that's not the case. We know it's out of control violence. It's death, as we can see, and it's people who are not going to conform unless they come down with a strict iron rule. And that you have to bring in that military presence. At this point, what are you going to do when the police are just not enough?
Yeah,
it's just not enough.
And for those who don't know, the governor has rejected any suggestions or threats, as they're classifying it, from President Trump bringing in the National Guard. Governor J.B. Pritzker, for those who don't know. Back to you, number 9.
Well, once upon a time, there was a mayor in Chicago by the name of Daley. And this isn't the first time that they've talked about bringing in some kind of military presence in Chicago. Mayor Daley even referenced it back in the late 1960s of talking about bringing some sort of military presence into the city to bring in order. So this is nothing new. Did it happen? I don't think it did, but we didn't have this kind of severity and violence as we have now, flash forward decades later. So this is not a new idea or a new concept. They brought in military elements to bring in peace. We've seen it before in the past, and it can happen again as it's happening now. And I think it needs to happen sooner than later.
Okay. On the screen, D. Mike Starr was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Send the National Guard in. I live in Auckworth, GA. Never plan on ever living there again. The hell with that place. I want one of those condos on Lake Michigan. I got to be honest with you, man. I want that place cleansed, something done there. But thank you for your donation. Okay, so when's the last time you yourself have been to Chicago, number 9? Did we speak about that yet?
I haven't been to Chicago in over a decade, but last time I was in Chicago, I stayed downtown. I didn't leave those downtown limits because I knew, even back 10 years ago, I knew if I ventured just a little bit too far, a nigga would be chopping my head off, potentially. If I ventured just a little bit too far in a zone that I didn't belong in, I might have to pay the price.
Yeah,
I might have to pay the price. So I stayed downtown. And I suggest the rest of you do the same if you travel to Chicago.
Okay, guys, phone lines are open. I see a couple of people calling. Sit tight. I've got 2 showrunners this evening. Were cartoons more damaging than video games? I've never asked that question before, and I'm also going to talk about the Walmart beating. Did you see that Walmart beating, number 9?
I didn't see the Walmart beating, but what I can say is I've seen many videos similar to what you're talking about. If you've seen one, you kind of seen them all. It's when it's black people behaving badly, correct?
I'm not too sure now. Now, I'm not condoning their behavior because clearly young people today, not just black people, you got the Hispanics and all other sorts, they have no shame. They have no shame. They know they're being videotaped. They don't care. But this may have been some type of vigilante or mob justice, if you will. They were saying in the video, where he at? Something about somebody being, molested, raped, what have you. I just want to know if you had any of the backstory before I play the video.
Yeah, it was justice, but they were black. What kind of distorted way of justice that people might think this is? But my point is they were black nonetheless.
Hold on a second, number 9. Hold on a second. JLB Sports. No, sir. Last night's episode was deleted because whenever I play a lot of videos with music, that's a copyright concern. But thank you for your donation. Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys can say what you want to say. Deeds handles the live chat. I'm not tripping. I don't even look in the live chat. But with regards to your donation, last night and the show prior to that, whenever I have like these copyright notifications, I download the file, we chop it up, and then we repost it later. Okay. Hey, can you sit tight, number 9, while I play this this video with regards to Chicago?
What was that? The couples therapy show with 2 of your guests?
I forget.
They were live.
But hold on. I got to play this video. This is very, very important what we're talking about. Deeds, can you confirm that it's 54 or 55? It was 53 earlier. That number has gone up. Hold on a second, number nine. Pardon me. Let me just get this on the screen here, and we will continue the discussion. Here we go.
A deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump continues to set his eye on the city, threatening to send in the National Guard as early as this week. At least 52 people have been shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 7 of those victims died.
The violence included 3 mass shootings that happened at Haddon in California, in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, and 2 in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, 35th and State and 36th and Cottage Grove. ABC 7's Jasmine Miner talked to people in Bronzeville about concerns about 2 mass shootings happening within 48 hours.
Many here in Bronzeville describe the neighborhood as on the come up, and they say they're not going to let the violence stop the positive work they're doing. For one woman, that means keeping kids healthy, active, and on the field.
Come on. We're gonna push through because it disservices the kids.
Alexis Hawthorne, owner of the top-tier university football youth program, says even gun violence won't keep her from serving kids in need. Their practice comes just a few hours and down the road from a mass shooting early this morning. 5 people were shot near 36th and Cottage Grove near Ellis Park, including a 17-year-old who was in critical condition.
At the end of the day, to have one person that was critically injured and 4 folks in the hospital, whatever the situation was, it was senseless.
It is the second mass shooting in Bronzeville in the last 48 hours. The other happened on Saturday night near 35th and State, where 7 people were hurt during a drive-by. Those like Alderman Pat Howell are taking action, telling ABC 7 in a statement, "I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." It follows Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order this week to avoid the Trump administration from sending the National Guard into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our community.
Others think the troops could help.
I got kids, and I want to see the community better. I run every day out here. I exercise out here. So for the street to be safer, I think it's really good.
But Hawthorne says her football program does just that. Teaching kids a healthier way to have fun.
We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that these kids have somewhere to come.
Alderman Lamont Robinson tells ABC 7 that Chicago police do have 1 person in custody from the shooting this morning.
Monday.com's AI blocks are a total.
Okay, number 9, back to you. But let me ask you, why do we see people that say, no, we don't need the National Guard here? I mean, is it fear? Is it just out of some type of, just disdain for law enforcement? Why do we see that, knowing that these shootings are record numbers? Why do we see that? Number 9?
Well, I don't personally think it's fear. I don't personally think it's authority. I don't even think it's a disdain for law enforcement. I think it's this twisted ideology and this twisted talking point of racism. Like you said, is this white supremacy? Is this the white man, the white patriarchy bringing its hand down on an inner city community, on a prominent city with many black people who reside? I think it's the mindset that's been created for decades that this is somehow connected to some sort of racist element that has put people in the throes of violence and drug abuse and poverty and things of that nature. That racist patriarchal ideology is at this point in 2025 dead on arrival, but no one wants to accept that. I think that's what is happening there, and people don't want this kind of presence because they feel it's some sort of perverse undermining of racism in regards to all of this. It's a bizarre psychology, I know it is, but I think that's the reason why they're weary of bringing in this force into the city.
Let me jump in for a second. Someone sent in a comment, Pink Blue 99, a very simple comment. They don't want to follow rules. Some people just don't want to follow rules. Might that have something to do with today's culture? Not the music. Let's not blame rap music. Let's not blame hip hop. We've done that before. But in today's society, many ethnicities just don't want to follow rules. What do you think, number 9?
Well, the postmodern ideology is to rebel against the establishment, is to have this revolutionary mindset. We don't need the rules. We can set our own trends. I think that's a cultural belief. But the reality is we need order. And in these places, there have been no order for such a long time. Right. And the so-called leadership is not taking charge and creating a safe place for a major city like Chicago to thrive. So now if you are a leader in this position and you can't control your city, then someone who can might have to come in and do so. This is what it boils down to.
Folks, phone lines are open. I do not want to steer this conversation. I have my thoughts. I've been speaking about this over the decades. I'm just fed up. But don't let that steer the conversation. If you're new to this show, this is the objective perspective. I always give you the last word, whether I agree or not. And I think this is worth us really, really talking about tonight. And I will get to the Walmart beating. That was a beating. She didn't get stabbed. She didn't get shot. But I'm going to get to that after we take a few more calls. Hold on a second. Might this be someone calling in from the Chicago area? Hold on a second. Area code 773. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about the fatalities, the shootings in Chicago. Area code 773. Yes.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Star.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Muhammad. I'm calling in. I'm in Chicago.
Okay. Peace, Muhammad.
I lived here for the most part for my whole life. For a little time, I moved in with my sister, in the Bronx. I stayed there for a little, and I stayed in the Valley in Woodland Hills in California. So I think it's a layered situation, like, a lot of things are. The guy who was on the phone, I don't know if he's still on the line, and
he is.
I think he eloquently spoken, very intelligent young man, and I agree with a lot that he's saying. I think Trump's plan to employ the National Guard plays into a bigger agenda.
Okay.
I do. I think it's fascist to a degree. I think there's a hint of racism involved to a degree, like the gentleman who's on the line who previously mentioned. I do, as a person who lives in Chicago, who's raised on the south side of Chicago, about 5 minutes away from O Block, in fact, which is a completely different neighborhood and vibe than O Block because Chicago is very segregated like that. These niggas are out of control.
Can I ask you one question? I don't want to stop your flow here. How old are you?
I am 40.
Okay.
Continue. I was born in 1984.
Continue.
Yeah, these niggas are out of control. Mayor Brandon Johnson, I'm not sure where he came from. In fact, just kind of popped up out of the blue. He hasn't been able to tackle the crime. Lori Lightfoot, the previous mayor with the bad head, if you will, the crazy hairdo, she hasn't been able to tackle it. There are some reports where people are saying that the crime has been on the decline. Chicago is out of control. Personally, I think it's interesting. When they come, I'm going to go to where they're at. I'm going to take the GoPro. I'm going to get some content.
Can I jump in?
Sure. I'm listening. I'm all here.
Okay. So you're not in your 20s. You're not in your 30s. Okay. If you think there's a hint of racism, is that how you put it? I don't want to misquote you. You said.
I think it plays into I think he's testing the waters.
Okay.
I think
I'm fine with that. If I can just say this, I'm fine with that. You know when I was born. If you don't know, I was born in 1964, and one of my showrunners this evening, I'm asking, did cartoons do more damage than video games of today? You see, I can be very objective, even though I represent a certain time and era and generation. I can be objective. So with regards to what you're saying about a hint of racism, okay. Well, did racism help you grow? You say you're how old again? 40 what?
I am 40. Okay. I'll be 41 in November.
Okay. Did racism help you grow? Here we are. Yo, this is racist. That's racist. Racism helped people grow. Helped me. I'm not tripping off of who's racist. If you're prejudiced and you act upon that, then I got to deal with you. But if you're just racist, doesn't bother me. Go ahead.
I love that. I agree 100%. I don't mind racism. In fact, there are many cases where racism can work to your benefit. I work with racist people all the time. They don't bother me. You don't say anything too crazy. You pay me on time. I send you an invoice. You pay me on time. I may charge you 2 or 3 times as much.
Yeah.
I'm all for the racism. I
got one better. I got one better. You see, at work, I befriend the blacks. And when the white manager's around, I tell on them. Yeah.
That's a very interesting. I'm sorry, my man. What's your name? What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Gene Richmond. That's my name.
That's number 9. That's number 9.
My name is Muhammad. I'll say this: when I was an employee in corporate America, I worked for a tax auditing firm. I didn't have to worry about the white people. There are many different faces and sides to things. Things are layered. I didn't have to worry about the white people. It was the niggas who was trying to get me out of there.
Well, if I can say this, did you grow up around white people or black people? To say what you just said.
I grew up in a diverse. Where I grew up was 5 minutes away from O Block. So a lot of those guys, Keith, I met them, Keith, Tato, a lot of those
But
guys.
You didn't grow up around white people for the most part.
I grew up around a lot of Palestinian, Syrian, and Middle Eastern people in the south suburb called Bridgeview, Illinois.
I know it very well. But now, hang on a second. You see, I grew up around predominantly white people in the 70s. And you can't just give white people a pass. Don't just trust white people, especially if they're not, quote unquote, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. They may be just Euro trash. They may be some type of redneck, if you will. But I just wanted us to have that conversation now. You say you're from Chicago originally.
Yes.
And with regards to the National Guard and ICE coming in, are you okay with that? I just want to be clear where you stand.
Well, it's 2 different things. It's complicated. It's a lot going on.
They're sending in both, sir. I've seen reports about Homeland Security, ICE, and the National Guard. They're coming in heavy. Pause.
Right.
Pause.
Right. Last year, I'll tell you, there were a lot of migrants. I don't see the migrants out here like that anymore. I don't approve of how the migrants came flooded in and what the Democrats were doing. I mean, the Venezuelans and the Argentinians and wherever they're coming from, you would see more of them than you would see Americans. And they were taking over the streets. They were in the West Loop. They were out on their dirt bikes with the backpacks delivering food. And it was just too much. So I think that's a separate issue, the migrants. I think for the most part, if the migrants are going to come over here, they need to come in properly. I don't think they should be coming in and be given, $30,000 loaded on a, prepaid Visa card. I don't want them down here knocking people upside the head, nope. Driving the crime up even further, and then that being pinned on black people.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a different thing. Now, the National Guard, I guess we'll have to see where it goes. But Trump said that the 2024 was going to be the last term. He said that was.
I don't want to put too much on the table here, but I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Number 9, stay there. Let me see if I can bring in one more call before I play this video with regards to the Walmart employee. She was given a tune-up. She wasn't stabbed. She wasn't shot. Area code 708. Good evening. Are you there? Please watch the language. 708.
Yes.
Good evening.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Please don't call me brother, sir. It offends me. Please. Where do you want to start?
Okay. I'm personally from Chicago, born and raised.
Okay.
And I've always said that Chicago has always been the most segregated city in the United States because you have different towns. You got Chinatown, you got Little Italy, you got hell, even the gays got their own town. They call it Boys Town.
Right.
Ooh. So, I'm just saying. And the thing with Trump, I say this, that the crime rate was worse in the 90s and the 80s as opposed to now. But I think with the use of social media and the ability to get information at a fast rate, it's kind of overblown.
Right. Okay. I can see that to some degree, the constant real-time, possibly propaganda, if you will. But how old are you, may I ask?
I just turned 50 August 13th.
Perfect. So now, you being born and raised in Chicago, you better than us, you know that the Black Panthers came out of Chicago. Jesse Jackson.
Yes, I'm friends with
Jesse Jackson. Hold on. Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
Jesse Jackson Jr., the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, Michelle and Barack Obama. So if you've got all of these powerful, impactful, prominent, super wealthy, highly intelligent Black people, what is the goddamn problem with all these shootings still?
I mean, it's just, Chicago is heavily rooted in gang culture. They always have been since the 70s, hence post-Panther movement. It's always been like that.
That's not good enough for me, sir. Number 9, do you want to jump in? Gene Richmond, where are you, sir? This man is born and raised in Chicago.
Well, the question is not why they can't conform to being a civilized people. The real question is what has happened to the culture of Black people to allow them to become this way. And it's not the music and it's not the television shows or the movies. The question is, what has happened to Black culture that they become so depraved that decade after decade, it just gets worse than the decade prior? There's something wrong with the culture of the people, and it just so happens to be Black, and it just so happens to be on a level of depravity where the violence keeps getting enhanced, the politicians still have no control, and the city keeps falling into worse and worse corruption. So it's a cultural thing at this point, and it happens to be that Black people are right in the center of it.
But then, we talking, COINTELPRO and all those type of things where you have the prison pipeline and et cetera. So, Blacks aren't able to get the tools and the resources to be successful. So hence, you're going to have that backside. But then also, even though with the mass shootings and all that stuff that was going on in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the leadership was there. So it was more structure, it was more controlled, as opposed to now it's like dog eat dog. And I used to be in the gang culture, so I know it all too well. I've been to the penitentiary, you name it, I did it.
If I can jump in, sir, and I appreciate this call as an insider, born and raised in Chicago. Okay, so is it a failed dream for Black people to prosper and flourish in Chicago? Is Dr.
No.
Hang on. Is Dr. Claude Anderson right? Black people are a permanent underclass?
No.
So then what?
No, because you gotta.
So then what?
I mean, you still have.
What happens? What happens?
I mean, it's just.
What's next?
It's just a disconnect. Once you, like I say, you had the gang leadership. Once they took the heads, the body just fell. No gang leadership at all. And like I say, it was a little bit more structured as opposed to now, like I say, it's dog eat dog. So now that leadership that they had, they don't have it no more, and they just run amok, shall I say.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, as if to say, when the gangs were in control, everything was running smoothly. I don't buy that, sir. I'm 61 years of age. When was Yummy killed? Yummy, what was 1994?
I want to say it was before then. I want to say 91, 92.
I'll Google it. I
Ish.
mean, hold on. I was Yummy was how old? I don't know if you and I spoke before or
Maybe
not.
13, 14 years old. It's that.
Yummy was killed in 1994. And
Okay.
he was 11 years old, sir. Not 13, not 14. 11 years
Okay.
old. So they've been out of control. So are you against the National Guard coming in? They can't get it together. They can't get it together.
I'm against it. I'm highly against it.
Okay. Well, go ahead and land your plane. You have the last word.
That's basically it. I mean, I just want to chime in, and I mean, you have people that's on the outside looking in, so I kind of want to give you a perspective of someone that's actually here, and I still live here.
I appreciate your perspective. But again, I'm going to give you the last word, but with all due respect, I just don't care anymore. I know that's harsh to say, but I want something done there. But try and give us a solution as opposed to it is what it is. Please, you have the last word.
I really don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. Okay. How can we try to correct that problem?
We'll call her.
No, number 9. Let this. No, he's getting the last word. Number 9. Fall back, please. Sir, I thank you for the call. Thank you. Thank you. Sir.
I can't give my. I can't ask my question.
No. Just let, we allowed that man to speak, and as you know, we give people the last word. Now, you want to say something now, number 9, or can I take another call? You got time?
Could you tell us more about Boys Town? Call him.
He's off the line, man.
Is he going?
Yeah,
okay.
Hold on a second. Area code 312. Are you there? Good evening. We're talking about the new numbers that have come out with regards to Chicago and President Trump. I'm sure he's sending in the National Guard now. 54 shot, 7 dead. Are you there? Area code 312.
Yes, sir.
So you have to come closer to the phone. We cannot hear you. You have to make the adjustments with your headset or something. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
You have the floor. Go ahead.
One of the guys was speaking some truth about how we're segregated here.
Yes.
But to me, I look at it as where they know what they're doing. They put in all the crimes in certain areas in Chicago where it's a muddy pit, where, the police can ride around, find these young guys with guns, shootings. They're letting them kill each other if they get to lock you up. The Cook County Jail is overcrowded. So guys shoot each other, they do crimes, they get right back out. That's the main problem. But the city of Chicago is a good place to live. It's just certain areas in Chicago. If you're from Chicago, you know where you shouldn't go and where you should go. So they should concentrate on those certain areas to eliminate the crime. Because now those people in those certain areas are leaving their area now. As back in the day, the crime would stay in that area because everybody didn't have a car. It used to be where people put their pistols under their car wheel and stay in their neighborhood. Now you have 4 guys riding around in a car with a gun, and they're leaving their area, going to another area. So now it's escalating. But the problem always starts from where they're coming from, and that's what they need to concentrate on. And it seems like they're not doing that because, like I said, it's a money pit. Whether you can find some guys in a car, you could get them locked up, put them in the county. They have to pay for lawyers, court fees, and things like that. And the Cook County jail system, they get funding for each inmate, so they don't care if you come in and you come out and beat the case. They still got the funding to house you.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead, sir.
Why do you have savages riding around with guns in the cars? What is the purpose? What is the intent of that?
It's like a never-ending cycle. You did something to me or my friend, so I'm going to do something to you. And
is it part of the culture now to ride around and to want to I don't know, smoke something? Or what are we? Are we in the 80s or the 90s in LA? I mean, if you knew better, you do better. Remember that old saying?
but they don't. But that's the one thing. The one guy did say there are no more fathers or leaders around to show better. So now the new leader is going to be someone who's probably 20 years old, and you're 14. You're looking up to a 20-year-old.
Okay.
And you're doing exactly what he's doing. So it's going to get younger and younger because they took away the fathers, they took away the leaders. So now there is no one to direct you with anything. And then if someone did have some sense to come and tell them this stuff, they don't want to hear that stuff. They're going to look at you like, get out of here, old timer.
Did I ask how old you are, sir? Did I ask how old you are?
44.
44. I've never.
I've seen the.
If I can just say this, I've never liked that whole "who are your leaders" terminology. I think I think your leader should be your mother or your father, your auntie, your grandfather, somebody in your family. Once you start putting people in place of being a quote unquote leader, then you're giving too much power to someone who, you know, more than likely will get drunk off of the power at some point. Hold on a second. Number 9, you want to jump in? Gene Richmond, where are you? Gene Richmond.
Well, I'm here. I just want to give you some pushback on that. I think we do need leadership. I think, I believe what you're saying. I believe in the strong family values. I believe in the nuclear family. I believe in the father being the patriarch, but I do believe in leadership in regards to community. I believe that
you have to take an accountability.
Sir, can you let him speak? We do one at a time here. Let him speak, please. Okay. Gene Richmond.
Okay.
You know, and I believe that leadership does play a role. As I don't think it should be the end all be all, because I do believe in our freedoms and I do believe in our leadership and our liberty. But I do believe there should be some sort of leadership to have a structure to follow in the community. Now, perfect example, Mayor Brandon Johnson had the ability to have a snap curfew, which would allow law enforcement to go in and give about a 30-minute warning to any people under the age of 21 or 18 that are out to be, you know, to vacate these areas. But he vetoed that. So this just shows you a failure in leadership. And this just shows you how he's enabling these kind of violent outbursts, these acts, and this rampage of primarily the youth that are taking over the city. So leadership is important. And again, Chicago does not have any.
Sir, you have the last word. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I like I was saying, I wasn't saying that we.
Can you come a little closer to the phone, sir? You sound like you're moving away from us. I want you to have the last word.
What I was saying was, I wasn't saying that we don't need leadership. That's what I was saying. Our problem is we don't have it anymore. Is our youth are now more influenced to entertainers and what they do see on Instagram, TV. So that's what's going on now. And we have to deal with that problem. And they don't know how to deal with that because a rapper is more influential than the mayor or the laws that they're putting down in the city. They could put whatever laws they want in the city. That's not going to stop me from getting in my car at 12 o'clock in the morning and going to go look for somebody. Because the police cannot handle everybody that is doing that. You may catch a couple people, but you're not going to catch everybody.
Gotcha.
So that makes sense.
I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Number 9, stay there. Anonymous, I got your donation via PayPal. Thank you so much. Okay. Deez, did I put the PayPal link at the top of the live chat? Guys, you can use PayPal. We also use Venmo. The Venmo information is on the screen. All right. A couple of people have emailed me, and folks, I don't respond to emails about if you were or you weren't blocked. Contact Deeds. Again, I am very fortunate to have Deeds. There's only one person monitoring the live chat. I don't have like 7 or 8 people with wrenches. I want you to speak freely, but you have to understand that there are rules, there are regulations. Where's Deeds information? Hold on a second. And let me say this. If you can't, make a donation to Deeds, a respectful donation, then she doesn't even owe you a reply. Give me a second there. Sheesh. Okay, there's her information on the screen, Holler at her. Please don't email me asking me Oh God, that's the wrong Cash App. Give me a second. And I haven't even played the. Hey, number 9, are you there? Where's Gene Richmond? Number 9.
I am here.
Can you hold on? I want to play the video of the Walmart, the beating, the tune-up. You got a minute?
Yeah, I always enjoy watching niggas act like savages in public places. I enjoy it.
Stay. This goes into detail. This is WISH. And it's a pretty good breakdown of what happened. Here we go, everybody. Let's pay attention. Then we'll get to our other showrunner. Here we go.
We turn now to ITV. Video posted to social media shows a Walmart employee being beaten. Now IMPD is looking into what happened at the store located along Keystone Avenue on the city's north side. ITV's Cody Fisher spoke with a man who saw it all go down.
Man who caught it all on camera tells me he never expected to see something like this happen at the Walmart that he goes to all the time. This is what Kind Butler saw when he was standing in line to return items last Friday. A group of people swarming around a Walmart employee on the ground. It looks like some people were trying to prevent the employee from being beaten up, but she was still taking punches. Butler said some of the people who were going after the employee were armed.
There were definitely people with guns on them. And so I feel like that's the main reason why it kind of escalated as long as it did, because people weren't trying to get involved of what was going on.
Butler says the altercation stemmed from an alleged sexual assault that happened the day before, and that the Walmart employee was confronted by a group of people who believed she knew where that person was.
They were there to confront the girl and to ask where the guy was so they can find the guy and confront him also.
Butler said he recorded the incident because he wants to help police track down the people who beat up the employee.
I would be able to help them, point them out, because I just don't think that it's really fair for the girl working there. She's working, trying to make a living, and then people coming up there and beating her up. So she needs a little justice.
In a statement, Walmart said the violence that occurred at our store on Friday was unacceptable. We appreciate police for acting quickly. Right now, IMPD is still investigating, but no arrests have been made. For ITV, I'm Cody Fisher for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Okay, number 9, I want your A game tonight. Let's pull back on the N word. Let's try to figure out some type of resolve here, with regards to these two topics. Walmart. I think that young people today have no shame, whether they be Black, Chicano, Caucasian, Asian. They have no shame. So that's why we're able to see these types of beatings, of pummelings. They have no shame. What say you? Number 9.
Well, I'd have to agree with you. This is the generation of exposition. This is the generation of a postmodern style society. This is the digital age. And a lot of these people that are committing these scenes are from the Zoomer age. This is Generation Z. And again, everything is out for display. You can see it on the internet with the touch of a touch screen. You have access to it all. Everything is so-called uncensored and in your face. So I do agree with you that there is no more civility in what people would say was a civilized society. Yeah. If anything goes at this time, and where does this generation look for any kind of sense or sensibility when everything is at your fingertips, if you will?
So with that being said, do you see any change coming about? Because, many people thought that with the amount of surveillance and I've never been to London, but London, if I'm not mistaken, was much more advanced than we were here in America in terms of surveillance. Maybe 5 years ahead of us. They've been had cameras and all sorts of stuff in London and other surrounding areas. So if no one cares about the cameras now and they will just get right to it, what comes next? What comes next?
Well, what comes next is the only thing that can come next that changes is a change in the culture. It's a change in the ideology, and it's a change in the way people view other people. We're no longer people anymore. We're objects.
Right.
And when things become objects, they become desensitized. And when you become desensitized, anything goes. In the book, Please Stop Helping Us, Jason Riley wrote that it's a subculture of a subculture. Once upon a time, prior to the 1960s, you couldn't present yourself in a family with a young girl who was pregnant and not talk about marriage.
Right.
You couldn't say certain words, swear words in public without being reprimanded.
Right.
You see, that was a culture, and it takes a redefining of a culture to fix things. But again, we live in this anything goes, freedom of expression society, and there is no more restrictions. And once these people have become unrestricted, we lose the sense of who we once were. And I think it's a change in culture, and that's what needs to happen.
Very well said. Stay with me. Hey, that's Sarah tapping in area code 215 on a Monday night. Hey, Sarah, happy Labor Day to you.
Hey, happy Labor Day to you too, Star.
Hey, what do you want to say?
Oh my God.
Take your time. Take your time.
Weren't you just live last night, Star? No, you were live last night, right?
I was, but we had so many freestyle videos with music. It was just too much of a copyright issue. So I'm back.
When you were live last night, several people called in. I'm not for the National Guard. I ain't for that, right? And when I looked, there was at the time 30-something people shot.
Okay.
So now that number is 54.
Yeah, close to
So
60.
black people crack me up. What do you want? They'll say, oh, not the National Guard, But then you'll say somebody need to do something about this. Well, which one is it?
Right.
Which one is it? And I'm so happy. I'm sorry to say, a certain unintelligent element that's amongst the people is being overruled right now. Uncle Donnie is doing what needs to be done. I'm so happy that you mentioned Little Yummy. I studied that case.
Oh, my goodness.
Exactly. So people are trying to act as though this is something new. And what's interesting to me, I think that Black people have a need. They love drama and chaos. It feeds their demons.
Right.
They hate peace.
Right.
So they don't mind. And it's like they're literally fighting so that more Black people can die. They're fighting against it so that more can die because they need good gossip material.
Yeah.
You see that? So
if I can
I'm just
jump in,
disgusted.
stay
Go
with
ahead.
me. If I can jump in, I don't remember all the details, but it still sticks out in my mind when I hear about shootings and gangs and stuff in Chicago. Don't try to tell me about all that Larry Hoover stuff as if, that's something to be so proud of. G. Herbo sat up on Vlad TV over a decade ago and said, if he were to come home, nobody would listen to him. That's what G. Herbo said. And the Yummy, I forget his real name, you would probably know, but 1994, 11 years old. So something really does need to be cleansed, done.
And the leaders had him go out and do stuff.
Right.
The leaders, just like the leaders had the other two gang members shoot and kill him. The leaders did that. So what are these people talking about? We need new gang leaders, man. Ain't nobody did that. Man, they were all what's wrong with being functional and civilized?
Right.
And going against that dysfunctional, degenerate garbage. What's so wrong? What's wrong with that? But at the end of the day, what's being done needs to be done. And this is, like I've always said, this is the age of karma.
Yeah.
So you will get down and lay down. That's how Uncle Donnie's playing. He's setting the tone. You talk about leaders, you have all of these Black Democrats running the show. What do you mean?
Hold on a second.
You have
Sarah,
go ahead.
Guys, if anybody wants to take the time, Robert Yummy Sandifer. Robert Yummy Sandifer. Thank you, Deeds. She just sent me the text. Based upon the murder of that 11-year-old alone, you should be demanding something be done in Chicago and the surrounding areas. Number 9, do you want to chime in, or do we give Sarah the final word? Number 9, where are you?
Well, yeah, I'll definitely chime in. There are people who talk about that the military imposition is a violation of our liberty and our freedom. And, you know, I was even challenged on it by a libertarian buddy of mine. He said, well, how could you support libertarian ideas, but then support a police state? And I don't think I support a police state. And I push back by saying, if you look at the Federalist Papers, Federalist number 29 to be exactly, Hamilton talks about the importance of a strong and regulated military for national security. And I think when a major city falls under a high crime and an out of control state, I think the military is the exact element that you need to regain order. It says it in the Federalist Papers. So it doesn't violate freedom or liberty. So I think, you know, desperate time call for desperate measures. And I agree with the caller. Yeah. You need to take action. And action is what needs to be done, and that's an effective form of it.
Yeah. Sarah, before you go, did you see the Walmart beating of the mob that they gave her a tune-up? I don't know how you felt. They didn't stab her, slice her, shoot her. What do you think?
If I was her, I would have a lawsuit against Walmart.
Of course.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back, my back and my neck, all of it. My nose, my cheekbones, my teeth hurt. Right. Yeah. Because that mob went there, and you know how chicks like them talk. Where's she at? Where's she at? They knew it was a problem when the gang arrived there, and they didn't do anything to prevent that attack. She has a lawsuit, in my opinion, or she should look into it.
And I didn't see security throughout the whole melee. I didn't see security.
Nope. That bingo. Go ahead, get your check, baby girl, and save your money. Okay. But this is I'm just disgusted, Star. This has been to hear black people. I ain't for them. Don't bring them around the people. You've allowed this for decades now.
Yeah.
You've allowed this for decades. Yeah. And then people. Oh, Star, please forgive me. They want to sit up and play. What happened to the culture? Come on. Yeah. Why do we have to play dumb as if we don't know what happened? Or is it because who it involves, which is why people play dumb? Yeah. You know what happened to the culture. You understand the typical households, the traumas. You know who's at the head. Yeah. So this is the result of it. And once again, they were given BS degrees and jobs for the illusion of being normal and functional, and look at the state of their children, as usual. But thank you so much, Star. Thank you, and have a good night.
You too. Bye now. Okay. All right. Number 9, sit tight. Sherry, I got your donation via PayPal. Thank you so much. Guys, let me acknowledge a few people here. And guys, can I ask you to share this particular stream? Because what that word in the title, fatality and shootings, we probably won't get too many numbers on this video. That's just how the algorithms work. Thank you for your Cash App to Deeds. Guys, Deeds Cash App is how you can support the machine as well. And let me also acknowledge the Loco Syndicate. Star, don't forget about Dantrell Davis, who was killed by a sniper in the Cabrini Green projects in 1992. I'm not speed on that, sir. Can you, well, maybe I'll Google it. Number 9, you ever heard of Dantrell Davis?
I have not, no.
Killed by a sniper. Okay, thank you for the information. Hold on a second. Guys, there's Deeds Cash App information on the screen. And Sunday, I responded to your email, okay? You should be good to go. Hey, Miles, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Miles says, what can the National Guard actually do differently than the Chicago Police Department? I have no idea, sir. I have no idea. I think a show of force is a start. I think it's a start. I don't have any answers. I'm being totally honest. Whenever I sit here and talk about Chicago and the shootings and the killings over the months, the years, I get very little interaction. But I thank you for your donation. Bill, I got your donation. Oh, my goodness. He's reminding me of what I used to say back in the days. Bang, bang, shoot him up. Nigga dies slow. Yeah. Michelle, I got your donation for the machine. Oh, and Michelle likes my hat. Thank you so much, Michelle. Stay with me, number 9. I thought I saw Rory in there somewhere. I guess not. Area code 231. Are you there? Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about Chicago. 2,
Yes,
3.
sir. Star.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Star, I'm wondering, there's the question to ask, and somebody just asked this question. So if the National Guard go in there, what are they going to actually do? How are they going to actually change the culture that's been rooted? So this is a deep-rooted ideology that these people have in Chicago. How are they going to change it? It's been going on for 60, 70 years. And how long would the National Guard have to stay there? They have to stay there, what, a week, a month, 6 months, a year? National Guard going in there is not going to do anything to change the culture of how these people think.
Okay.
You know, and one thing we talk about also how they think. And you say shootings. How are they getting these guns? Is the National Guard going to come in and try to eliminate that part also? Eliminate the way these individuals getting guns? So sorry, I went on.
Can I jump in for a second, sir? I hate to answer a question with a question. But I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 43. I'm 43.
Okay. I hope you don't reach. Hold on. I hope you don't reach my age, and the same goddamn thing is going on in Chicago. I really hope you don't. So I'm looking to you. You're younger. You're smarter. You probably have a better education than me after high school. I don't know. Tell us, please. What do you think?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, sending the National Guard in there is not going to eradicate what's going on.
Okay,
we have it's a deeper rooted issue of first, like I was going to say, like, I went on a YouTube rabbit hole a couple years ago with just figuring out like these, because you know on YouTube they try to capitalize to talk about all these gangs and the killing that's going on. It's so easy for these kids to get guns. They have like the type of guns like the military have. Like, how is this happening? Why are we asking these questions, or like really focus on those type questions instead of just saying, oh, send the National Guard in there? Like they have the type of weapons.
So I hate to cut you short, but what I don't want to do right now is just, look at this as the glass is halfway empty. I'm trying to see the glass is halfway full. How do we fix it? That's the question now. Never mind the past. What about now, moving forward? Something's got to be done, sir. You got record number shootings. What do you do to fix it?
But you actually the shootings are down. Like in the 90s, it was worse. But that's what I'm saying. Like if they're going to keep getting these guns, Star, they're going to keep getting guns.
Okay. So leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't send the National Guard in. Leave it alone.
Oh, Gene, he hit on something earlier, was saying just the structure of the household. I mean, and there's actually like books written about just how the black male was kind of taken out of the household when they established like the child support laws in 1960, something like that. I forget. I'm driving, so I can't remember when it was, but just in that idea. But even when you talk about like now, like the males in the household, they're gang members too. And that's why I'm speaking about it's a deeper rooted issue.
You're right, sir. Sir, listen to me. I hate to cut you short. You're right, but for the last time, how do you fix it? How?
But that's what I'm telling you. It's starting in the household. That's how you fix it.
All right, I appreciate it. No, I got it. It's in the home, fixing the home. You did. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, you said fix it in the home. I don't have time for nothing to be fixed in the home. I'm kind of at the point where I want to see sterilization. I'm in a serious colon cancer. Area code 646. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about a few topics. Are you there? Let's start with the Walmart employee beaten like an old slave, but not killed. Just beat on. Let's start there, please.
I would like to tie your issues in together. I wanted to start with the cartoon issue, if you don't mind.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah. So I was just thinking, were cartoons more damaging back in the days than today's video games?
My opinion is I feel like cartoons were more positive. Like when I look back at some cartoons like Fat Albert, Michael Jackson, even Mr. T, it displayed something for the younger generation to emulate in a positive way. Nowadays, we don't have that. Like,
stop the cap, sir. Sir, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 32.
No, you're too young to know. I'm going to play some cartoons, sir. You want to talk about racism, stereotypes, people getting hit upside their heads with hammers, people getting shot. I mean, it was deep. I mean, it was a form of mind manipulation, if you will. You didn't come up in that era. Go ahead.
I'm unfamiliar with that, but from my perspective, like growing up, I've seen shows like My Wife and Kids, like Fresh Prince. It showed a family dynamic. Like as the last caller said, it's like all about family dynamics. And like when I look at Chicago, I don't think that these young.
Sir, I'm talking about Elmer Fudd. I'm talking about Speedy Gonzalez. What you talking about? The Fresh Prince? Yeah, come on.
I mean, I get the point that you're saying. I just feel like right now where we're at, we have a lot of people that's watching the show Power and going out to the house and trying to live that. A lot of people are watching reruns on BET of Baby Boy and different shows like that, and they're going out and living it. Where I feel like when the stuff you see, whether that you speak or see on TV, it brings life to Power. Like personally for me, I did not know a dark-skinned man could win the presidency until I seen Obama. And that's why I didn't vote for Kamala, but I understood what it meant to certain people when you see somebody in that position where you don't think it's possible. Right now, all we see is shoot 'em up, bang, bang by people that look like me. Where's the positive image? Where's the men with families? Right now, we have people, it's a lot to get into, but when it gets into Chicago, just to change it up a little bit.
Well, hang on a second, sir. You said Obama was a dark-skinned man? Is that what you said?
Well, he's not African American. I'm not gonna give him that.
He is African American.
He's not FD. He's not foundational black. Like there is a.
Sir, hold on, steady. Number 9, jump in there. He said Obama was dark-skinned.
that Kenyan is not dark skinned, and he is Barry Shatoro is African American in theory, on the technical basis, he is. And to get to cartoons, I saw Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck getting cooked in a cauldron by some black savage Africans with bones in their noses. I don't know if you saw that cartoon.
I'm unfamiliar with that. I'm unfamiliar with that, but. Brock is a dark-skinned man. When I'm speaking about I'll use the term African Americans. Okay. I refer to my people. I don't refer to these Haitians, these Jamaicans. Okay. Y'all can come up with your own term. But when it comes to Chicago, and it's sad for me to say this, and I wish to be wrong. I did a paper for school. Okay. I feel like we need to go back to segregation.
Absolutely.
Blacks, we thrived in this country when we worked together. I feel like when we mixed with whites, we've lost our ways. Integration was the worst. We have not progressed since. Now, it sounds extreme, but I feel like we all need to come together, whether or not it's expel these young people. Us as people need to handle our own business because we can't look at these other groups and ask for help. We need to handle this. Whether they're on the street wilding, well, we need to meet them with their.
So I hate to cut you short. I've got a bunch of calls here. I appreciate you. Seriously, man, I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Who sent in that comment on the screen? Sir, you are so right. West Side Bo, Daffy Duck was a psychopath. What about Wile E. Coyote? Oh, my God. Wile E. Coyote was some type of a deranged, what would you call Wile E. Coyote? He was deranged. He was almost a serial killer. He was attempting to really just violate people. Damn. Blade, I got your email. Thank you, Blade, for your donation as always. Hold on, number 9. Got a bunch of calls lined up here. Okay. Deed says, don't forget about Pepe Le Pew. Was a stalker and a rapist. That's a whole fact. Aladdin, where's Aladdin? Are you calling in, sir? Area code Where's Aladdin? I don't see him.
And Speedy Gonzalez was a Mexican.
Area code 319. Please watch the language. Are you there? Good evening.
Yes, I am. How you doing today, sir?
Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm actually calling because I am a resident of growing up in the actual Chicago area, where a lot of the violence is coming from. I wanted to just give you guys a different perspective of looking at the violence from Chicago. I actually grew up in the low-end ghetto to where the mass shooting was just yesterday.
Okay.
A lot of people do not understand back in about 15, 20 years ago that they tore the ghetto down and they moved everybody throughout the city of Chicago. And if you look back into like the numbers to the murder rate and the violent rate, that in itself made the city just go up in the uproar because they got hundreds of thousands of people that was misplaced throughout the city. So now they call themselves fixing the problem by locking up a lot of the older generation back about 15 years ago, but that also left a lot of their children stuck in the ghetto, just raising their self. And that's where the violence is coming from. So I do attend that picnic that's every year that's in Illinois, but every year it gets worse and worse and worse. The buildings are not even there anymore, but the police itself tried to stop the people from coming, but it's hundreds of thousands of people travel to Chicago every year for this picnic. So I think the appropriate way to do is to address the poverty level that people is experiencing throughout the city and get a lot of jobs within the inner city itself. I don't think it's a I don't think it's a violent problem. I think that's a drug problem amongst the youth using pills and things of that nature.
Okay. Can I ask how old are you?
46.
Okay. Is it the job of the government to provide jobs for people?
Well, yes. So I'm going.
No, sir, it's not.
A little bit of history.
Excuse. No, sir, it's not. It's not the
okay.
job.
Well, growing up,
hang on.
Growing up, back
hang
up
on.
in the ghetto.
Hang on. Just allow me to.
Okay, go ahead.
Allow me to interject. It is not the job of the government to give jobs. That's been a big misconception.
Okay.
Politicians say that. They make these promises. They claim to be transparent. It's the job.
Okay.
It's the job of quote unquote government to protect your rights. If they can do things to provide jobs, okay. If something is being done to harm a certain ethnic group or to lock them out, then they have the right to pursue by way of legal means ways to break up that monopoly and things of that nature. But it's not the job of the government to provide jobs. So I hear what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. But you're you're born and raised there, yes?
Yes.
So what can be done? What has to be done? Because now they're talking about bringing in the National Guard.
Okay. So then I'm going to just paint the picture for you. So growing up as a young boy in the ghetto area that all this violence have took place, what they used to have is a police department called CHA, which was strictly only dealt with inner city housing authority. That was not the Chicago Police Department. This was a totally separate entity of its own, but hired by the city of Chicago, right? So what they did was they made it where CHA will only operate in the areas that the high traffic, high violence areas. That in itself allowed police officers to easily identify criminals, easier to get in front of gang wars. But once they tore the buildings down and they moved everybody throughout the city, they eliminated the CHA. And even growing up as a kid, they used to have a program called the Chicago Summer Job, where every summer, most of the youth can get a job through the whole summer that will allow them to make money so they didn't have to be on the streets and selling drugs. At those times, that was not as heavy violence as you see now. When they took the ghetto away, it kind of took away the structure. As funny as it sounds, but this is when we grew up, we had a certain radius that certain officers can only work in. And those officers knew who the criminals was, they knew who the drug addict was, and they knew who the people were that was causing the problems. But once they tore the ghetto down and they put it throughout the city, that made the city there are a million fires that's going on all over the city of Chicago. It's not just in the inner city, it's all over because you have 100 or some thousand people that is misplaced. So I say government and maybe helping out is in fact, if I look back at when it was fun for us and not as much violence, there was summer job programs. And there was officers that knew, okay, if Gerald Seals commit a crime, I know who Gerald Seals is. I know who Gerald Seals' family is. None of that exists anymore because they took the ghetto away.
Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
At number 9, you can chime in however you feel necessary. Let me just read something to you here. AI overview. Whether it's the government's job to provide jobs is a subject of ongoing debate. However, most sources agree that the primary role of government is to create an economic environment that fosters job growth and then allows the private sector to create most jobs rather than the government directly employing people. That's not just me saying that to sound cool. I had to learn that. I had to find my footing in life in my early 20s, even though I was sidetracked by a lot of things. I had to really buckle down. I had to realize that I had to make sure that I kept a copy of the Constitution with me at all times. I had to learn that the president was there to protect my rights. So, you being born and raised in Chicago, what's really going to happen there? We're honestly looking for people like yourself to inform us. What is the solution, if any, even if it's long term? What is the solution to the National Guard coming in there and doing whatever they're going to do? What's the solution?
I think the solution being a kid that grew up in that environment and that moved my family out of that environment, to honest to God, true star, I think the real solution is 100% understanding that, and this is me being honest, a lot of the violence in Chicago is linked to the drill music, the culture. So you have these kids who are running around listening to music that say kill, 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 kill. And then people that are not from Chicago, they don't understand. A lot of these kids are inheriting beasts and deaths from previous generation of people and family and friends. So now imagine if I had a cousin that got murdered 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Now that I'm old enough, I'm going to re-avenge this murder that was in my family. Although I never met my cousin, but a lot of this is no BS. All the violence in Chicago is linked to drill culture. It's not the jobs, it's not the drugs, it's the drill culture. Because in drill music, all it talks about is kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. And they keep score like it's a video game.
Okay.
Because people in my age range, 47, in the 30s, and maybe even in the late 20s, they not the ones that's doing all the shooting. It's the teenagers. It's the kids that are very young.
I got to ask you one question before you go, and I'll let you land your plane. What was the excuse prior to drill rap?
Statistics, the crime.
No. I said, what was What was the excuse prior to the formation of drill rap? What was the excuse for the killings and the shootings and killing young people like Yummy? Never mind drill rap. You're saying drill rap. What was the excuse prior to drill rap?
It was the crack. It was the crack era, right? And most of these men got put away up in prison, but now they left all their children out here as bastards, that's out here that's killing now.
Okay.
Because they grew up in an environment with no father figures, because they cleaned up the crack era because that was the reason then. Okay. Now the new reason is drill rap.
Okay. I appreciate the call, so I have to take other callers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Number 9, sit tight. The white Denzel wants to tap in. Rory, I need your A game tonight. Let's have a conversation without a lot of stereotypical stuff. Please be mindful of the language. Rory, are you there?
Yo, happy Labor Day, Star.
Absolutely.
Happy Labor Day, man.
Absolutely.
What a wild Labor Day with fireworks in Chicago. What a wild Labor Day weekend. Besides number 9, he's the only guy on the line who agrees with the National Guard going into Chicago.
No, I actually agree. I actually agree.
Well, it's kind of crazy that people are against the National Guard going into Chicago. 54 people shot is wild. That's wild. You know, all week in the news, one trans shooter, shoots 3 or 4 people, and that's the news all week. Everybody wants to know everything. But 54 people shot over a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend, an American holiday, as American as it can get. It distinguishes us from the rest of the world. People died. Thousands of people died for a 40-hour work week.
Well, now hang on a second, Rory. What I don't want you to do is call in here and assume all black people don't want the National Guard there. Many black people want the National Guard there. And keep in mind, black people are not a monolith. Continue.
Yes, which is crazy. The National Guard, I was going to say that, Star. The National Guard is made up of black people. Like at least 40%. These are the sons of and daughters of America. It's the National Guard, not the International Guard. They're not supposed to be sent to fight for borders or fight crime in Iraq and Baghdad. You know, when you see the people in D.C., the National Guard of D.C., those are black dudes. Those guys are from Detroit. They're from New York City. They're from all around the country. You know, so it's not a Donald Trump white force that's coming into Chicago. You know, Chicago needs the help, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what would be a good thing if people would get killed. You know, being desensitized to murder is wild. It's just wild. It's buck wild. You know, Chicago is a third world country at this point. And they need all the help they can get. The police don't care. The city government don't care. You know, they spent the money on illegal immigrants. Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It's not like so yes, wow. And you know, these guys, they don't, in Chicago, they got all these Muslim black dudes and black Americans. They don't eat pork, but they condone shooting people. It's like the worst thing in the world to eat pork, because you could shoot a motherfucker on the corner.
You're going to watch your language again, friend or no friend. I'll get you out of here. Come on, man. I say, give me your A game. I want your A game, Rory. Come on.
Yeah, my man. I mean, the same thing today in my city, the Joe Avert parade, that the Caribbean parade, people got shot. People got shot. Any other parade, people would get shot.
You mean Juve? You mean Juve?
Yes, yes, down on Eastern Parkway. As predicted, people got shot. You know, like that's an all-black parade. St. Patrick's Day, you can say whatever you want. People don't get shot. That doesn't happen. You know.
Number 9.
So, I mean,
hang on, Roy. Hold on, Roy. Number 9. You want to jump in? Where's number 9?
Well, you know, Rory's 100% correct, but now are we seeing a pattern here? Eastern Parkway, the Caribbeans, West Indian blacks are out of control. Chicago is FBA. Is it safe to say that black people got a problem? Is it safe to say? I mean, we have to look at the pathology here. Is it safe to say that black people, whether they're from the Caribbean, they're from Timbuktu, South Central LA, Nigeria, black people got a problem? Is it safe to say that? Just asking.
Rory, you're going to have to answer. I'm Googling something.
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, you know, facts don't lie. You don't run from facts. Look at Europe. All the crime statistics all over Europe have jumped, 200% as soon as Africans and Middle Easterns came to Europe. As soon as we had this wave that was started by Merkel in Germany. And it's the same thing here. We experienced it here. It wasn't just Latinos. They let in, we got African child soldiers running buck wild on mopeds up in Harlem. You know, that's a fact. That's a whole fact. You know, so sending them back to the Congo and Rwanda, what Trump is doing, is exactly what we need to do. Who cares if they come from El Salvador or Honduras? Your ass going to Uganda now. You want to play around? You know, and it's so like, God forbid it was Obama who sent the National Guard to Chicago to stop the killing. They would thank him like he was some sort of prophet. But because it's Trump, It's a bad thing. People
Hang on a second, Rory. I hate to cut you short.
getting killed.
Hold on. I thank you for your comment on the screen. Someone pointed out 1974.
From Chicago.
Put them on a hold for a second. 1974, over 900 people were killed by violence in Chicago, making it the deadliest year ever recorded at that time. Yeah, so they've had an issue prior to drill rap. And also, let me put someone else's comment on the screen here. I just lost it with regards to Chicago. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. W. Belton. Yeah, I asked that question earlier. Did anyone find out if agents were wearing them body and facial suits during the shootings so the National Guard could go in? What do you think about that, number 9? Because we saw, was it Antifa? People in Atlanta a couple of years ago starting fires downtown. They were in, oh my God, where was that when Michael Brown was killed in St. Louis? What was the name of that town? I forget. Ferguson.
I forget.
Ferguson. You had white people.
Nigga town.
Well, hang on now. You had white people down there, doing the most, causing fires and other things in Ferguson. What do you think about that? That maybe we've got some people in Chicago amping up the set, doing the most?
Well, they're not amping up the set doing the most. And I take exception of you trying to bring white people into this. I take some exception of you trying to do that.
Number 9, I want your A game. Your A game. It's already been proven that Antifa and other people put on these masks and they get out there and they pretend to be black people. They were doing it in Atlanta a couple of years ago, starting fires downtown. Come on, man.
But here's the question. Who's funding them? These are people that are funded by Media Matters. They're funded by the George Soros organization. They're funded by Bill Kristol and things of that nature. Yeah. These are people that are coming from an internalized private entity that is connected to the establishment. That's something completely different. You have agents that come out. You have the same agents that did the same thing in January 6th. You had Ray Epps. And you had other people similar that were wearing MAGA hats that weren't MAGA that were running into the Capitol. Yeah. These are agents, and it's a well-conformed conspiracy. Yeah. We're talking about something totally different here. You're talking about communities that's been on the downturn for decades, and now we need a military imposition to go in and clean it up. I don't think we can. It's a fair comparison. There are no parallels here.
Well, now, hang on a second, because all three of us on this line are on the same page. I want the National Guard there. I want Homeland Security there. But this is the objective perspective. We're going to put things on the table that other people can feel comfortable calling in, speaking to, whether we believe it or not. Do I believe that? Not necessarily. They've been having issues over the decades. Rory, what do you think about white people being in Chicago doing some of the things that Antifa is known to do?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, it's kind of crazy, the comparison. I heard somebody else talk about segregation in the city of Chicago. Like that means something. What does that mean? I mean, if white people move into your neighborhood, it's gentrification. And if they leave your neighborhood, it's white flight. And then the reason that you have high crime and murdering each other like there's no tomorrow is because of segregation. So where does it stop? Who wins? Like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Is it okay if we move in? Is it okay if we move out? Is it okay if we coexist? Normal people don't want to live with that. They're not living with that. 57 people shot over the weekend. That's why people laugh when black people talk about white people say mass school shooters. You get that once off, right, once in a while, right, with a deranged lunatic, right, or trans deranged lunatic. But 57 people shot in the weekend in Chicago ain't nothing. That's normal. Okay. That's nothing. Okay. There's been 68 people. There's been 86 people shot over a weekend in Chicago. That's not a mass shooting, though. That's not a.
I agree. Now, hold on a second, guys. We're having a good discussion here. Is that the Most High tapping it? Area code 347. Peace, the Most High.
Star, peace.
Peace. How are you, man? Rory, can you hold on? And number 9, you hold on, so that we're not talking on top of each other. Hey, man, good to hear from you. The Most High. Where do you want to start?
So in this episode of Blame the N-Words once again, we're going to blame the N-Words in Chicago because it's their fault. Now, I'm going to say this again, like I've said numerous times.
Come on.
Excuse me. Nobody, black, white, any human being who's rooted in righteousness can condone bad behavior. That being said, what about America is peaceful? What about American culture is civilized? What? Anything. If you can't say capitalism in and of itself, the word and the concept in and of itself is exploitation. Period. So since that's the culture of America, that is the culture of America. Exploitation and violence. It's built on those two principles. And if you want to talk about pale faces going to other countries and colonizing or whatever, they do it with the same play. Deception, disease, and force. Period. That's the same play they've run anywhere on the planet. They're still doing it. They do it here. They do it abroad. I'm hearing stuff about black people being a problem anywhere they go. If they're African, they go to Europe, they causing a problem. Europe is always, some part of Europe is in a constant state of war. Whether it's Ukraine and Russia, I don't care where it's at. It's in a constant state of conflict. America is in a constant state of conflict from its inception. You are never going to have justice on stolen land. There's nothing fair there's nothing fair about what transpires here. A caller brought up something a little while ago about jobs, and you brought up the fact that the government is not responsible for creating jobs or what have you. But you also brought up the fact that almost every politician in his agenda, when he's trying to get elected, he's trying to influence the people by telling them, I'm going to create jobs and we're going to get this economy jumping. And you know what? We're going to start the new agenda for schools, and we're going to just do this, and we're going to compete with China. We're going to do all that. We hear it all the time. Black politicians, Latino politicians, white politicians. It's a system. So stop it. There's violence coming from everywhere. My problem is that also this ties in too. The other question, the other topic is about the cartoons being influential, or they were back in the days than they are now.
Well, hold
that
on.
being said,
you want number 9 or Rory to respond to what you're saying, or do we just go into the showrunner? It's up to you. I appreciate you calling in and hitting the ground running. It's up to you.
I want to hear what they got to say.
Okay, hold on a second. Number 9, any response to what the Most High has just said? Number 9, Jim Richmond. Yes.
Well, I think it's a lack of intellectual reality to say that there's a group of people who aren't to blame for their actions because of a higher society. I mean, when are we going to get off this racist rhetoric about the patriarchy and the white man holding us back? I think that argument is on life support. I think people are seeing in living color what's happening in their communities right in front of their eyes. And I think that the whole racial argument is pretty much dead on arrival. This is a new generation here. The idea is to be accountable for oneself. And the idea is to take responsibility for not only yourself, but your community and the people around you. Politicians are going to be politicians. They're going to promise, they're going to guarantee, and they're going to deliver the bare minimum. That's just a political game. It's about power and notoriety. The reality is it's about self-resiliency, it's about community, and it's about character. And that's what I'm not hearing here. So I think we need to move away from the racial jargon and focus on what we can do as men and as a community to reestablish this cultural dynamic.
Can I respond, please?
Absolutely, please.
So you just said politicians are going to be politicians. They can lie, they could promise, they could do whatever because they're in power. So let's just brush that off because they're part of the government. And to govern means to control, right? These are the people that we answer to, right? These are the people that set the agendas and policies and whatever, right? But they're allowed to promise whatever. as long as they are able to achieve their objectives, correct? That's what you just got finished saying. So that enhances my point again. Lies, deception, same thing. That's all that's been happening since the inception of this country that people revere like it's the bastion of peace and civilization. It is not. Stop playing. Everything about what this country uses to project its culture is rooted in violence and debauchery. All your TV shows, the news, all the news shows is violence, fires, adultery, whatever. There's nothing that goes on here. Not your TV shows, not your news, not your schools that is going to enhance or foster an environment for positivity, right-minded thinking, or health. It's not. The food sucks. The education is just as bad. And the people that run things, they got suits on and they're behind a podium. So we're gonna just bypass all the stuff that they say that's untrue. We're gonna bypass all their proclivities that if they were a normal person, we would be calling them all sorts of things. So there's how many P. Diddy's are in Congress?
Can I jump in the Most High, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can appreciate everything you said, but now, what do we do at this point? Do we throw our hands up? If we acknowledge what you're saying, and what you're saying has legs to it, it most certainly does. But do we throw our hands up? I take it you're against the National Guard going into Chicago. Yes? You're against it.
Totally.
So what do we do with a place where clearly people need some saving? They can't save themselves. What do we do as a nation, a compassionate people, if you will, regardless of whatever system of organized religion or not? What do we do? Do we just sit back and say, well, that's what they do? Or do we try to make amends? What do we do?
Well, if people are rooted, no matter what color you are, if you're rooted in wanting to make a positive change, then you do have to hold people who are in control accountable. That's the only way. Literally. Yes, people should hold themselves accountable for their behavior. I agree. That's why I don't go outside with an AK-47 and shoot my ops up. Right? Most of us don't do that, right? But the thing is, again, you said the greatest power is influence, correct? You said this on many occasions, right?
That's correct.
So the greatest power of influence is the media. So don't even get me started into what media is and what it really supposed to what the etymology of these words and what they're really supposed to what function they're supposed to serve, right? Remote, channel, media. Those words are synonymous with one another.
Okay.
Media.
Can I bring Rory in? Rory, I want your A game. Remember that. Number 9. Hold on a second. Rory, do you want to respond to what the Most High is saying?
Lame excuses. This is lame excuses, one after another, talking about the past, talking about slavery, colonizing, and more excuses for. The showrunner is about 54 people shot dead in Chicago. All of them, every one of them was black. All the suspects were black. But there's not a problem. It's the colonizing of America 300 years ago. It's, at one point, a certain very small percentage of people owned slaves in this country. And that has something to do with the here and now. And today, Labor Day 2025, with people murdering each other in Chicago. So, that's why it's like, we voted for Trump. Like half the reason we voted for Trump is for guys like this. We've done with the whole, black thing after George Floyd. That's over. It's not going to work. The majority of the country is never going to vote for that again. Normal people see it for what it is. There's a problem. They need the National Guard in there. You know, the city's not handling it. 54 people over the weekend shot on Labor Day. You want to talk about history of black community? Why don't your black community use Labor Day as a weekend to get reparations? Why don't you do that? Why don't you go all across the country and have Labor Day and remind the American government that your ancestors have been working in every single Labor Day across this country and get you reparations like that? Instead, you shoot each other. Instead of you shoot each other on Labor Day weekend. So I'm done with the whole black, but you know.
Okay, can we let the Most High finish and land his plane? Rory, sit tight.
Fuck out of here.
Rory, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. The Most High, you have the last word. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, I hear these same narratives all the time. This dude stay talking about George Floyd. Every time he talk about some black this, George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd. Nobody care about that. Most black people are not even in tune with that. I don't look at Obama as my savior. I don't look at a sky daddy as my savior. So that being said, again, this country, foreign countries, they know America to be excessively violent and greedy. That's why America is in other countries sucking the resources from them countries. It's what we do here as a country. It's well known internationally. America also eases young, and it's been happening. There is nothing that goes on. Let me finish. Go brush your teeth. Let me finish. So I didn't interrupt you. So again, the same thing over and over and over and over again is blame the black kids. First of all, if we the minority, how are we the biggest problem in the country? How are we the biggest problem? If we are concentrated to inner city ghettos and whatever, what we doing in our neighborhoods, we killing each other, that don't even affect you. What happens is you see it on the news. And let me say this too. First of all, we knew this agenda was going to happen years ago. It's been told to us in movies and books. You watch Sci-Fi Star, you know this was something that's been put into everybody's psyche for years. So right now is they got the right person in charge. And what's gonna happen is this is a soft push on occupying big cities or quote unquote problematic cities. And this is something that's been planned for a long time. It's the Hegelian dialectic. So problem, reaction, solution. Created problem. This is the reaction. This is the solution. It's the same play. Nobody wants to see young black males shooting each other up and acting a fool. But guess what? This is what you want. This is what you put in your school.
The Most High, I have to jump in. I got to get other calls. I appreciate you, though, man.
Devils, peace.
Peace. Okay, the Most High. Yeah, some great points. All right. Rory and Gene Richmond. Rory, are you good? Can you land? Can you land your plane? Because
I'm saying I'm the devil. I'm the devil. But I was in a white neighborhood this weekend. Nobody shot each other. Nobody stabbed each other. Everybody partied together. There was a band on the beach. You know, everybody hung out. People got drunk. There wasn't one fight. But I'm the devil. 54 people shot, all black, in Chicago. Same thing over here in New York City, in my city, a black festival, the largest festival, people shot, but the white person is the devil. You so lucky you live around here, man. They don't even know, you know. But it's easy to get a passport and move abroad these days. Okay. If you really want to go back to Mother Africa, go, leave. Because the colonizers ain't going nowhere.
That's an old talking point. People are on the FBA wave now. But hey, man, I appreciate you. You did good. We'll talk. I
appreciate you too, man. Number 9, my nigga. Number 9, my nigga. Happy Labor Day.
Yes, Mr. Rory. Yes, Mr. Rory.
All right, we'll talk later, Rory. We'll talk
appreciate you.
All right, salute. Salute. Hey, Evelyn, nice to hear from you. Thank you for your continued support. I want to start with the showrunner first, Evelyn. Were cartoons more damaging in our time than today's video games? Evelyn?
How you doing, Star?
Good.
You know what? I have never even seen the cartoons that you just played. I'm glad that you showed them though. Yes, those would have been very terrible, to look at and see that every black person is something wrong with them in a cartoon, and that, they're very dumb, they're stupid, and just all that. But the cartoons that I think that me and you watch, like Land of the Lost, the Jackson 5, and I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Well,
That's right.
Well, hold on, Evelyn. Evelyn. No. A lot of those cartoons that I just played, I saw those. Cartoons used to run in syndication on Saturdays, depending on what state you lived in. Yeah, they would play those cartoons from the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. Animation wasn't really advanced in those days, so a lot of that stuff they were recycling it, and it was a way to enforce propaganda, along with the and I hate to say monumental film, but Birth of a Nation. Remember Birth of a Nation? You ever heard of that film?
Oh, yes, I've watched it for school before.
I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about the original.
No. The black and white one.
Yes.
For
enforcing all those stereotypes of watermelon and chicken. So again, my question, and let me just lay this out to you again, and then I'll come back to number 9. My question: were cartoons more damaging than video games? Because you see, we can't just ignore the fact that coming out of that era, or those eras, pardon me, in those decades, there was a lot of coons, if you will. Oh, black people love to coon. You can't just blame welfare and single mothers. A lot of coon ass niggas. Oh, I'm the only black person they allow up in here. They did a lot of right. They did a lot of damage, right? Come on, Evelyn.
Like I said, I do believe that video games and cartoons now are more damaging, but I've never seen those cartoons. The ones you just played, they are very damaging. Yes. Very.
Stay with me. Gene,
like I said,
Evelyn, hold on. Evelyn, hold on. Number 9, do you want to chime in? We've had centuries, if you will, of coons that have come out of watching these cartoons. They've been programmed, and they look down upon black people due to those cartoons. Yes, no.
Well, I enjoyed those cartoons that you played. I watched them as a child as well in syndication. The Max Fleischer cartoons, the our show is here with you, boss. I enjoyed those cartoons. The Al Jolson type animation cartoons with Disney, and I got a kick out of those. I got a kick out of those cartoons. I didn't see what the big hoopla was. I just thought it was entertaining.
Salute to Coco. Coco knows what I'm talking about. Very covert. Of course you enjoyed it. We all did as children. That's the point. But did it do a mind job on you? I'm just asking.
It did. It taught me how to be a good, docile black man in America. It did a hell of a mind job on me. It taught me how to behave. How about that?
Let's let Evelyn jump in there. Evelyn, come on and chime in, please.
Oh no. I was taught how to behave at home. At home. I don't care what cartoon came on or what TV program came on that was trying to down me or whatever. No, I was taught how to act at home. It's you start at home with your parents. And like I said, I watched cartoons in the 70s. This was the lineup in the 70s when I was growing up. Looney Tunes, Jackson 5, Land of the Lost. They even had a cartoon about Planet of the Apes. and then it was time for Soul Train.
Evelyn, I hear you, but now
Yeah.
at the same time, you were watching HR Puffin stuff, Family Affair with Buffy and Jody. You were watching
And Mr. Friend.
You were watching Flipper. You were watching Mr. Ed, the horse. A horse is a horse, of course. We all watched that, but my question, Evelyn, did any of that stuff damage you? You don't have to follow my lead. If not, just say no, Star. I had no bad influences, and we can move on to another topic.
That's what I said. I said no, they didn't damage me.
Okay.
I wish though that these people would have learned more from the other cartoons that was being played, because they don't even know nothing about how the United States runs.
Okay.
All of those cartoons, they must have missed them.
Okay.
You're also forgetting Father Knows Best with Robert Young and My Three Sons with Fred Murray.
I didn't like that. I like that. I liked Bewitched.
No. And the Donna Reed show.
I liked it. I liked it dark. I liked the Dark Shadows. That came on when I got out of school. After people finished watching their stories, I did like that.
Well, I will say this, and again, I'm not trying to make you say something that you don't feel, but also along with the programming of the cartoons, there was unrealistic Caucasian households that were trying to project this very wholesome and pure image. Do you guys remember the Brady Bunch?
Yes.
Okay. What was the mother's name? I forget. She was a divorce. She divorced, or did her husband die? That's how they hooked up. That's how they became a family.
They said that both of them were widowers.
Widowers. Okay. Okay. The girl who played Jan Brady, I think her name was Eve Plum. She spoke about being typecast later on in life. She couldn't get roles because everybody thought she was this wholesome girl from the Brady Bunch. Marsha Brady and Maureen McCormick, same thing with her. So I just wanted to say that with regards to the programming, but I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far.
Do you remember?
I don't want to go too far, of course.
Episode. I just want to ask you: do you remember the episode when she turned black? When she was turned black?
Somewhat, sort of, but I want to get back on course here. Evelyn, do you want to speak about 54 people shot, 7 dead in Chicago? That's my main topic. Evelyn?
Was this at one place?
This weekend.
At one party?
This past weekend.
One setting?
No. This
past...
Evelyn, hear me out. This past weekend, I just played a video in Chicago. Multiple places. Right now, 54 people shot. Who knows? Might be more by Tuesday morning. Can you land your plane?
Well, I guess they waiting on the National Guard.
Okay.
I mean, 54 people. Now I could see if it was in one spot.
No.
But 54 people can get shot across a city, a big city.
Okay.
Every day.
Should the National Guard go in, Evelyn? That's the question. Should they go in?
I told you. I told you.
Evelyn, listen, Evelyn, with all due respect, I don't remember.
No.
Tell us now.
No,
they shouldn't go in.
No.
Okay.
No. Never.
What is with you black
what
people?
Were you gonna say?
What is with
How
you
do you
black
know
people?
I'm black?
How
do you know I'm black?
People? We're
How do you
trying to
know I'm
find
black?
a way to reconstruct and fix an establishment, a broken
First
city.
of all,
Black people.
Ask you, how do you know I'm black?
And you black
How do you know
people
I'm black?
keep saying no. I smell the Newport. I smell Newport on your breath. I know you're black.
Easy.
First of all, I've never smoked in my life. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And I've never been in jail. And you know what I wish Star would do? I wish Star would go ahead on and run a background check This is what he should start doing.
No.
Running a background
I'm not
check
gonna do
on
that.
every person that calls him.
No.
To find out
Evelyn,
who's real and who's not.
We're not doing that,
'Cause,
Evelyn.
No, he just told me that he smells Newports on my breath. I've never smoked in my life. Never. Never drank in my life. Never done drugs in my life. None of that.
Okay.
So
And
I'm
the St.
just
Ives.
asking you.
And I smell the St. Ives from here. I can smell the St. Ives from here.
Easy.
I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't drink beer. I don't drink liquor, wine, none of it.
All right. Evelyn, I have to take other calls. I appreciate you. Thank you,
You
Evelyn.
got to let me straighten Gene Richmond out, Star.
Okay, you say you want to
You gotta let me
you want to
straighten
flame
him
him? Okay, go ahead. Matter of fact,
I said I got to straighten him out.
come on.
I mean, but if you want me to go on and get off, because it is your show.
No, get at him. You got to get at. But can we do this in 5 minutes? You go now. Number 9, let her speak, and then you will respond. Evelyn wants to get up in you. Go ahead, Evelyn, please.
You know what, Gene Richmond? If you are black, you are one of the most Uncle Tom niggas that I've ever heard in my life, because I haven't seen you. If you are black, and if you're not black, and you are white or another race or whatever you are, you need to know your blackness. It's something about you that you don't like about being black. Every time I turn around, when I get on this show, I listen to the show with Star, everything about black people is wrong. Everything. But everything about white people is right. You need to get yourself together, because there's something within you that you don't like. If you are black, I don't know if you are or not, because some black people, you're going to have some black people that's going to be able to stand up and fight. You could forget that mess. Okay.
Evelyn, we're going to let number 9 respond, because I have to get back to the show. Number 9, do you want to
Go
respond?
ahead.
To
Go
Evelyn?
ahead.
Number 9.
Go ahead.
Did you know that there were 2 Darrens on Bewitched? Dick York and
Sure
Sergeant?
did.
Okay.
Sure
That's all.
did.
That's all I got for you, mammy. That's all I got.
Oh, I'm a mammy? No,
all I got for you,
your
mammy.
mama's a motherfucking mammy. Then now, how about that? Your mama's a motherfucking mammy.
Yeah. Oh, now I know you're a nigga.
Child.
Now I know you're a
Your
nigga.
motherfucking mammy.
Now I know you're a nigga.
The mammy is.
Now I know you're a nigga.
That's who your
I
mammy
made it
is.
come out. I made it come out. I know you're a nigga.
You made
Now I
what
know
come
you're a
out?
nigga.
You made nothing come out. I'm telling you about your
I
damn
know
self.
you're
If
a
you hate,
handkerchief.
if you hate your own black self, your mama's a mammy.
Ooh, child.
Because you hate every damn thing that's black.
Ooh, child.
Ooh,
child.
child, my ass. That don't work on me because I'm not gay.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, child, my ass.
Ooh, child.
Okay, guys.
Child.
Guys, I have to get back to the show.
Child.
Hold on a
Ooh,
second.
child.
Wait a minute.
Evelyn, Evelyn, I appreciate you, but listen, now we're going down the path of foul language. No, Evelyn, no. We're going down the path of foul language. I have to bring this show back, but I appreciate you.
Okay,
Thank you, Evelyn.
all right. I said, how much to sit him down, Star?
Send 500 right now, and he's out of here. 500.
For how long? Ever?
30 days. He's out of here.
It would
500.
be worth $500.
Send 500 via Zelle or PayPal. He's out of here for 30 days. Business is business. I appreciate you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Jane Richmond, what's poppin', man?
I don't need to be obfuscated by some handkerchief head wearing nigger. I don't need it.
Easy. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. We're having a good discussion. Whew. All right, guys. So you've been shown some context with regards to were cartoons more damaging than video games. Let's also go back to the Walmart brawl in Indianapolis. I might play one more video with regards to that, but hang on a second. Thank you. Hey, Vera, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Let me acknowledge some of these people who have been sending in Venmo support. Hey, Shani, thank you so much. She says cartoons seem more deceptive than video games. The animation dehumanizes and primarily targets children, usually with, and then it goes off. Yeah. RR sent to the donation star. What's the most high, smoking, shooting, or snorting? Well, sir, he has a right to speak his mind. Is it Aquil? Aquil, I got your donation. Aladdin, sit tight. I see you in the queue. Miles, I got your donation as well. And as I said, Bill, okay? Okay. Aladdin, how are you, man? Do you want to tap in on some of the topics? Aladdin, area code 929.
Yeah, I want to talk about the cartoon and the video games, the comparison.
Okay.
I feel like the cartoons are racist and the video games are more violent. Let me explain why. For one, when I was in junior high school, I used to play these Disney cartoons.
Okay.
Lady and the Tramp. Very racist cartoon. We are Siamese, if you please. We are Siamese, if you don't please. The two cats, they were making fun of chinks.
Okay.
In that cartoon.
Yeah.
Right? Then Dumbo. Child, I never done seen an elephant fly. It was making fun of niggas. It was making them coon birds. Child, I said I never done seen an elephant fly. Like, cool. That was Dumbo. That was Dumbo, man. Okay, so that's Walt Disney racist company within itself. Now the video games, Grand Theft Auto.
Well,
man.
hold on a second, Aladdin. How old are you? I forget. You're in your 50s, yes?
No, man, I'm 44.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now hold on.
I was born in 81.
Okay, hold on. So now, in the 60s and the 70s, you had Tom and Jerry, and they were violent, man. You had Bugs Bunny shooting people. You had Wile E. Coyote. Oh, my God, Yosemite Sam. Number 9.
Yeah,
Hang on. Yosemite Sam shooting people. It was crazy. So there was a violent aspect there. And I got to tell you, man, some of that stuff when you go outside to play, you get to thinking. I mean, but at the same time, that was a different era. So certain things were not as dramatic as of now. But you're saying that video games are more damaging? What are you saying, Aladdin?
I'm saying the video games are more damaging because they have Grand Theft Auto. And Grand Theft Auto 4, you can purchase a prostitute, get your groove on in the back seat, and then after you get off a baseball bat and rob her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then in the Modern Warfare, you guys are just shooting each other all day. And I used to play this video game called Gears of War where you could chainsaw a guy to death.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? The games are I think are the reason why these kids are out of the loop and do all these mass shootings and all that, because they're playing Call of Duty all day, and then they want to do it in real life.
Well, now hang on a second. A lot of the cartoons, I just played a history lesson of sorts. A lot of the cartoons from the 30s, 40s, and the 50s were in syndication in the 60s and the 70s. Even if something was created back in 1947, you could see it Saturday morning. That was the designated time for you to sit there in your pajamas, your underoos, eat your goddamn cereal, and you were programmed. Come on.
Well, listen, I'm a big fan of Looney Tunes. Let's talk about Tom and Jerry, where they had the mammy with the several different colored stockings hitting Tom up his butt.
Come on.
Then my favorite Looney Tune character all the time, Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah.
He always wake the dog up, hit him upside the butt, and run. And the rope would choke the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Then my man Daffy Duck would catch what was it? Elmer Fudd was shoot him in the face, and his duck bill would be on the side of his grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I love those cartoons. So I guess that was that era of violence, and now my era of violence is the video games.
Okay. Number 9, you want to respond, or do we give Aladdin the final word? Number 9, where are you, sir?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think simulated violence video games are a lot more influential in regards to violence than, the cartoons of yesteryear. I mean, it was just, people can find it offensive now in retrospect, but I don't think they were the harbingers of violence as these violent video games are.
Well, this is just a question to be fair because, you know, we come down on a lot of the young people today, and I'm okay with that because I do think things are out of control. Let me just say that. But to have a healthy discussion, let other people speak and land their planes, I at least wanted to present something. Someone on the screen says there was violence and prostitution before electricity. Tell the caller to explain that. Aladdin, that's for you, and go ahead and land your plane, please.
Well, yeah, there was that, but in the video game world, I could do it and not have to deal with the consequences of my actions.
Okay.
Like what? One of my favorite games is Red Dead Redemption, and that's a game based in old Wild West, where there's a guy promoting being in Ku Klux Klan, and I knock him up, I hog tie him, and then I drive him out into the woods, and blow his brains out in the game.
Yeah.
So, like, with that response to that caller's question, I can commit these crimes on the screen, and I don't have to pay the consequences, and I still get the fulfillment of committing the crime, but I didn't really commit the crime.
Okay. Great to talk to you, man. Salute. Thank you, Aladdin.
All right. Take care. All right.
Okay. Number 9, I'm going to sign off with you. I appreciate you holding me down, man. Pause, but I'm backed up on calls, and I want to get to a couple of other videos here with regards to some of the other content. You want to land your plane? You've made some very, very good points tonight.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. And in the words of the great Thomas Sowell, government is not the answer. It's the fortitude and the intellect of man's ability to make positive change. Good night.
Very well said. Thank you, number 9. Thank you. Okay, Gene Richmond. Okay. Guys, we're going to get to a couple of other topics here shortly, but let me just say that's Deed's Cash App information on the screen. If you want to make a contribution to Deeds. And also, if you guys have been, for whatever reason, sometimes you do too much and you don't want to own up to it. Holler at Deeds if you have been blocked. I don't deal with the live chat. A couple of people tried to email me over the last couple of days. I just forward your email. Whatever you're doing, don't do it. Oh, and I will say this with regards to the rebroadcast of the shows. We don't want a bunch of trolling in the comments. Some of you, you troll in the live chat, and that's fine, but don't take it to the rebroadcast. We want you on topic. On topic after the show is over in the rebroadcast, okay? I think that's important enough to say. Let me bring in area code 614. Hey there, good morning. Please watch the language. We're talking about Chicago record number shootings again over the Labor Day holiday. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing wonderful, kind sir.
Yes, sir.
I first would like to start with the cartoons.
Okay.
I'm 52 years old, and I think one of the things that cartoons did for our generation, it induced knucklehead behavior for guys that were around my age. The slapping in the back of the head, flicking on the ear, tripping you when you walked. And a lot of those guys end up becoming the knuckleheads that evolved into we know them to be today. Some of those guys, a lot of them have, returned home, but those are the guys that were the initial guys who kind of broke the barrier and started bringing the violence into the community. The ones who they would go in their dad's bedroom and get the gun and bring it out and wanted to show you the gun and thought that those type of little juvenile, those knucklehead behavior things were fun. And they got a lot of that silliness from cartoons. That's where a lot of it was induced.
Okay.
Secondly, I would like to bring a very valid point. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the middle of Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Minneapolis. We right smack dab in the middle.
Right.
Okay. And there's a spirit that permeates amongst the states in this Great Lakes region that I don't know as far as what goes on the East Coast, the West Coast, and down south, but it's something about this energy and this spirit that is up in this northern part of the country that is almost undefinable. And when you look at what goes on in Chicago and what has been going on, I'm a strong proponent of not just Chicago, allow the National Guard to show its presence in all of these cities that are continuing to perpetuate this violence in the communities, especially in Chicago. Now, there was a couple callers saying, well, what will they do? It's not so much what they're going to do, it's just their presence of being there.
Bingo.
When the George Floyd thing kicked off, especially here in Columbus, Ohio, and that's been the capital city of Ohio, which some consider the heart of it all. When it was total chaos, and I was ground zero in there, out with boots on the ground, not so much agitating, but just using my influence and some of my tenure to tell the young people that were out there showing their frustration, hey, there's a proper way that you can demonstrate this without us tearing up our city. Okay, so when the National Guard began to show their presence, everything started calming down. Now, they didn't do anything. They were just standing on the streets, with their regalia on, and but they didn't do anything per se, but they were actually here. Now, what we don't want to happen is another Kent State massacre, where there's always a knucklehead that will be, assembled with one of these National Guard units that will take it too far and end up causing, hurting someone, and that could really set some things off. But I'm 100% for the National Guard showing their presence in these cities. And I would like to close with this.
But no, stay with me. Can I jump in?
Indeed.
I concur with what you've been saying thus far. There has to be a show of force, and the reason why, in my opinion, parents can't even parent today. They haven't been able to for well over a decade, maybe 20 years. I don't know. I mean, whenever they stopped allowing parents to spank, not beat, but spank their children, parents get arrested now if your child wanders away. You said you're 50 what again?
52.
52. My generation, your generation, we came home from school. We didn't need a quote unquote babysitter. We were told what to do. Don't open the door. Do your homework. Do something. But nobody necessarily had to monitor you. But now it's like the parents can't be parents. They can't enforce any type of discipline. So therefore, the National Guard has to come in and in my opinion, be some type of parent, some type of force to show, hey, we're not playing with you. That's what I think. Now, let me just go back for a second with regards to what you said about the cartoons. Yeah, I agree with you. All this silly stuff, the silly and the goofy stuff that we learned was from Speedy Gonzalez, Wile E. Coyote dropping anvils on people's heads and all sorts of jazz. But we were saved. I don't know about you, but most young people, we ate at the dinner table with our families, and that's when you got interrogated. That's when the rules and the parameters were enforced by your parents. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were not able to necessarily run amok. And even if you had just a mother, not a father, you had to answer to your mother at that dinner table. I just want to say I concur with everything you've said. Go ahead.
And in closing, because I want to, be able to allow some other callers to call in. Sure. Along with sending in the National Guard, you said something earlier that really touched me. And me and my contemporaries have been saying this for quite some time. During the pandemic, when no one was able to go outside, right? Mm-hmm. Every city that wasn't hitting record numbers with murders, they did. I know here in Columbus, Ohio, we hit around a 300 murder mark. So that comes back to what you were saying earlier. There's absolutely no way in the world that all of these killings and shootings are happening by civilians. A lot of these shootings and killings, and I'm willing to put cash money on it, and from extensive research, if you were a basketball player and you're retired every now and then you get an itch. You want to go out and play some basketball. You shoot pool, whatever it may be. So if you are a trained killer that has been at maybe once upon a time been a part of some type of military regime or some type of kill squad that it was here representing our country, and now you're retired, what happens when you get an itch and you want to kill? So you're not going to tell me there's no way in the world that all of these murders that are happening in these cities are just by civilians. A lot of these killings are coming from individuals, like you were saying earlier, who put these masks on. They slide in, they slide out. They keep the agitation going. Right. I know here in Columbus, Ohio, and until each one of these murders that occur in these cities, until someone is actually convicted of the crime, everybody's a suspect, including not only the law enforcement, military, people who have the ability to slide in and slide out and perpetuate these type of crimes and not be caught. I know here in our city alone, there were some things, we were looking at videos during the time of, we like, well, if nobody can be outside, how are we hitting 300 and something murders? So I know for a fact, a lot of these killings, especially in Chicago, there's cameras everywhere. There are people that are putting these masks on with the dreadlocks on the mask. I'm not saying that there aren't young brothers that aren't out here. And I'm not saying there aren't people out here that are committing these crimes that are civilians, but there also are individuals that are committing these crimes that are former military and are guys that are part of kill squads. I'm 100% believe for that.
and I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm asking that question to people. Do you think that some of the killings, as you just said, are orchestrated to amp up the anarchy, if you will? But go ahead and finish your point.
No, I just want to thank you for allowing me. I've been listening to you for an extensive amount, for years, man. And I truly appreciate you giving brothers like myself opportunity to call in. First time calling in.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And I will continue to listen to the show.
So thank you. Okay.